else I want from you? I want to thank you for giving you something to talk about and making your ass relevant. Woo!
You know she was waiting to deliver that rehearsed read well before she came on the show. Annemarie is shifting her focus from Sutton to Crystal this week. Let's talk about it on this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We start off the episode with a montage of the ladies packing and getting ready for their trip to Spain. Sutton has decided that she's bringing the ashes of her friend Merce Cunningham, who was a big name in the dance world, and Sutton worked for him back in the day. She has his ashes that she's kept in a Ziploc bag for 14 years, and she wants to bring him to Spain to spread his ashes. 14 years. Hidden away in a Ziploc bag. That seems very on par for Sutton. Once everyone gets to LAX, it looks like it's all good. They're hugging and smiling and interacting with each other. So it seems like they're starting the trip off right. On the flight, Dorit changes into $1,200 Chanel PJs. Meanwhile, Crystal, who is a co-founder and runs the second largest coconut water company in the world, and also benefits from her husband's Disney money, is wearing clearance PJs that she bought for $7.99. The other ladies don't even change their clothes. In the Sprinter van on the way to the villa, Sutton creates a game called All of a Sutton, where people have to name answers to facts about her. Surprisingly, Erica Jane is the one who wins the game, when you would think Garcelle, her best friend, would have been the winner. What's her prize? A tiara from Sutton's shop. Okay, shouldn't the prize have been that Erica got to pick her room first? The ladies arrive in Spain at the Airbnb that Sutton booked, and they're introduced to the house manager, who immediately lets them know that the house is haunted by little people. I don't know what that means exactly, but if I was staying there, I probably would not have slept that night. Just like Garcelle, who ends up getting scared later that night and chooses to sleep with Sutton, who she hated sharing a room with in Las Vegas, rather than stay in her room alone. Before dinner that night, they all choose their rooms, and why is it that Kyle just takes everything out of her suitcase and throws it on the floor? This is how she unpacks? She's like a toddler who's searching for one specific toy in the toy box and is emptying everything out until they find it. It looks like a bomb went off in her room. Because she can't decide on what to wear, Kyle makes them all wait for dinner because she's late. Annoying. They're all enjoying their tapas and flirting with Storm, the Spanish chef, who looks super young to me, and Annemarie has to be her 8.5 self and bring the mood at the table down. She said she wanted to address the elephant in the room. She said she and Sutton talked and she apologized to her for all the esophagus talk. Sutton clarifies that she's okay with putting the esophagus interrogation to rest, but what really offended her was when Annemarie called her lonely and insecure. In her confessional, Garcelle said she was offended by Annemarie's comment because it seemed as though she was rubbing it in the single women's faces that she's married and has kids. Since they're not married, they should therefore be lonely. So Annemarie then semi-barks an apology to the ladies.
Several of us were angry that night. I said things that I was not proud of. I apologize for them, okay? I'm sorry I called you lonely. I'm sorry that that affected you. I'm sorry that I said lonely if that affected you. Okay. Anybody else I may have offended, I apologize for that comment. I was angry.
God, her apology is so defensive. To me, her personality is so off-putting. It makes me wonder what her bedside manner is like when she's at work. I feel like she might be that super happy, energetic, and, peppy initially, but if for some reason her patient or even a colleague said something she didn't agree with, she would turn real quick. As Annemarie is giving her unapology, Crystal interjects and reminds Annemarie that she called her insecure.
We're going to get to you.
She's gearing up to grab at that low-hanging fruit. And I just want to say, me saying going after Crystal is low-hanging fruit is not a dig at Crystal. I just mean that Crystal doesn't typically get activated and doesn't fight back or clap back usually. So it's easy to go after her. Funny, Dorit was more concerned about the shallow comment while the other ladies were more focused on the uneducated comment. Telling. Can we talk about Dorit's confessional comment at this point? I think she really thought she was hitting when she called Crystal a child bride. I kind of pulled a face when she said that because I didn't like how that was directed at Crystal. Dorit tried to spin it as Crystal getting married really young and the others were all going to school, running businesses and building lives, and I guess she is implying all Crystal did was get married. Okay, Crystal was 24 when she got married, which is not enough to warrant a child bride comment. Kyle was 19 when she first got married and Erica was 20. Or was she talking about their age difference because Rob is 21 years older than Crystal? Well, Erica and Tom, 28 and 60. But yet, the child bride comment that could easily be tied to the stereotype of young, sometimes underage women being sold off into marriage to Western men. Listen, I'm not one of those people who goes looking for racially veiled comments or microaggressions, but I felt like Dorit, student of the world Kemsley, would have thought twice about saying something that could put her back into Karen territory. It wasn't even a funny comment. She could have poked at the age difference in a different way, but this is what came to mind first. Now, do I believe that Crystal said those things to Annemarie? Not entirely. The producers showed us that Crystal has a history of calling the ladies uneducated a couple of years ago.
No, these women are quite savvy, but they're clearly not highly educated.
Do I think she would say that to a random at a party? No. But if she were asked about the woman, would Crystal imply that she thought they were uneducated and shallow? Most definitely. She probably said some kind of flippant comment, which would be really dumb to do with someone you just met. Listen to her first response. Before she denied it, Crystal claimed she was offended they would even consider she said that, and she also said she wouldn't say that to a person she just met. Why didn't you just say, no, I didn't say that as your first response, Crystal? Who even knows if she knew Annemarie would be on the show eventually if they met through mutual friends at a party a few months before Annemarie actually was on. I don't understand how Annemarie just cleared things up with Sutton, but now wants to dig her hole deeper in with Crystal. For some reason, she thinks stirring up controversy whenever she's in a group of these ladies is what's going to keep her relevant and a center point of the show. Again, she thought it was easy enough to go after Crystal, who's the quietest and least involved member of the group. Low-hanging fruit.
You know what else I want from you? I want to thank you for giving you something to talk about and making your ass relevant.
Annemarie really thought she did something when she asked Crystal to thank her. This is just strange. She wants to be big and bad, but would never go up against Erica or Garcelle, who could actually put her in her place. The next day, Sutton goes to see Crystal to give her a little pep talk and encourage her to stand up for herself more. Did you catch that Sutton asked Crystal if she could enter her room before going in? Throwback to Crystal's first season where Sutton walked in on her when she was changing. She learned her lesson. Crystal is under the impression that the ladies don't believe that Annemarie said they were uneducated and shallow. Judging by Erica and Dorit's conversation and Garcelle's confessional, Crystal didn't pick up the vibe at dinner. Sutton is telling Crystal that she needs to stand up for herself and not allow Annemarie to continuously call her a liar. I feel like Crystal is a bit unbothered because she's saying it's a lie and she doesn't want to give any fuel to the fire.
Why are you letting her off the hook?
Here's the thing. This is the difference between us. You need someone to say that wasn't said in order for you to feel better. I don't.
Before they go out, Erica announces that she has some good news that she wanted to share and singled Crystal out as someone who would really care about it. Apparently, the news is that they could not determine if the money Tom used to buy her diamond earrings that were such a hot topic last season were bought with stolen client money. Most of the ladies were telling Erica that she should give back the earrings when she was fighting to keep them, just to show some empathy towards the victims. But we all remember how that went over.
I don't give a about anybody else but me.
I'm not sure why she singled Crystal out for this news. So now that the courts have basically said, hey, we don't know what money was used to buy the earrings, Erica is counting that as a win and feels a little disappointed that she didn't receive more acknowledgement about it. They all basically said congratulations and kept it moving.
I wish she would just let the earrings go and give something back to the victims.
The end of the episode has them all getting ready to go to a church or something, and they pile into two vans. Crystal, Garcelle, Kyle, and Sutton in one, and Erica, Dorit, and Annemarie in the other. Funny, I would have thought Kyle would want to be in the other van. But anyway, they are driving on these narrow, twisty roads, and Crystal starts to get carsick. I feel her pain because I find now the odd time I'm in the back of an Uber or a Lyft, I start to get carsick too. So Crystal asks to stop the van so she can get out. She's sweating and her veins are popping out of her hands. Garcelle goes to ask Annemarie what that could mean, and Annemarie goes over to hover and gawk at Crystal. Okay, no. She asked her what's wrong, but the way she asked wasn't all warm and fuzzy. Kyle says that Crystal getting carsick is some kind of payback because she's now at Annemarie's mercy. It's a little dramatic. They have producers there. The production company can get her to a doctor or a hospital or whatever. What is Annemarie going to do? She looked at Crystal and said,
They are really big. Holy crap.
You know, she stood there with her hands in her pockets. Come on, Kyle. And that's it. They leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger. This week on Watch What Happens Live, Andy said that there is an interesting turn in Spain with Crystal and Annemarie, and I'm hoping he's alluding to something more than just the dinner scene we got this week. Next episode looks to be a bit all over the place. They go shopping, something about being in a church repairs Kyle and Sutton's friendship. Somehow the Garcelle versus Dorit debate resurfaces, and Sutton is crying about her dad. I'm wondering if Dorit said something else that brought this conversation up again. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch up next week. Bye.